Forgot to add some stuff there. Okay, that's a thing now. Yep, life stuff seems good. That can be closed. That can be gone. Go away. And here we have chat and oh yes, what's needed. That doesn't need to be open anymore. 1.5 speed. RTA and load removed. U55 Okun Shrine? Oh, that's entry. It was just I thought that's beating of armor. If that would be a beating of armor time, then that would be don't need to kill this guy. He dies with the destruction of the barrier stone. Like this guy here, and this guy here all die with the barrier stone. Hey, Harbinger. Yeah, I definitely killed some of these enemies for some time too, until I noticed that if I don't, I suddenly have some extra uh, uh, mana and swords floating to me. Yeah, for this room, most players run like hit these two and then run behind these pillars. Yeah, this can just be somewhat hard to do well. Something that is quite simple, but will take a lot of time to actually get used to is with the double jump hover, you can quite easily, while going diagonal, get onto this rail and then jump across. I should have opened the playlist here. That you you would jump as you actually hit the wall, because if you don't jump this late, you actually don't make it across this rail over here cleanly. It's quite easy, but it's going to take time to get used to. Yeah, full bar here. So not that far. You should be able to start running around this area of the graph. If you Yeah, you can technically make it just before hitting the pillar, but it's hard. And if you run out of stamina during the fall here, just keep running, because you will actually, like, you want to be, I think, past this stone here, but if you then just keep running, you will fall at running speed into the cutscene. Honestly, quite nice armor fight. Um, Not mentioning there that you can try to hit the mana pots at the corner at the sides of the room, but I think I mentioned this last time, and it's hard to get used to even try to do that. And even if you try to go for that, it's hard to actually achieve good times with that. Um, yeah, technically faster to not pick up absorption there and pick it up after the ice charge uh, showcase. Um, Probably have mentioned it before, but uh, try to stop for chest and do a spell shot because that cancels the animation. Uh, running running attacks you cannot cancel out, but I should have it. I mean, I obviously cancel out. You can just literally reduce the amount of time you are in that animation. Yeah, if you wouldn't have gotten absorption before, um, it would lie quite literally here on the left side after destroying these crystals. Yeah, you only need 3 hits there, but I also often mess it up and do a 4th hit. Um, a thing. I don't think I've updated my entry here for this yet. Nope, it's not updated. Then let's go to Shinrunner, who I know this is in his PB. You can jump onto this and then with the double jump make it up here. It's not hard, but you do need to have a quite clean double jump. One here. Obviously, here's skip, but that's hard. Uh, yeah, I'm the same, but I'm I'm deciding that I'm on the level that I should just go for it, even if I'm inconsistent, because these 10 seconds, even though I will lose more times in a lot of other places, uh, I need these to get a PB I'm happy with. Um, nice Tanya fight. I think I mentioned it to you before, but these pots do have mana. Uh, one small health and small mana over there, and big mana, small mana, and big mana, small mana on the right side. Honestly, nothing wrong with taking safety if that safety ends up making you feel more comfortable into going with like more difficult strats. Um, Haste honestly doesn't do as much as I thought at the beginning. For the speedrun, we don't really do that much casts where we don't get mana from somewhere, and haste really only increases how much the spell the cast gets from your own mana bar, not from other mana. Like you still need the same amount of mana, but it's taking more mana from your mana bar quick over time. Um, yeah, you can do a 3-hit combo before as she jumps out. Um, the moment she jumps out like this, you can start hitting her. Okay, I'm actually quite surprised that this one didn't hit you, the stone smack. I've gotten hit so often by me doing just a similar evade to the side for this attack. For you, it worked out. Maybe it's just on 105 they made that more lenient, but I don't think they had anything like that in their patch notes any time. Um, the, here this vase and the barrel behind the vase do have a bit of extra mana, so it would reduce the cast time for this one a bit more. Hmm. Um, yeah, technically fastest to take the diagonal here. Just because it's the shortest path. I can show the diagonal of yeah. uh, It's just can cut across, kill this guy and another guy in this area over here without really slowing down, other than for having to do stamina recovery. Yeah, it saves, I think, 2 seconds, and you get these two enemies for some so extra swords. I think there are 21 swords together. No, 21, 12 maybe? It's a little bit of swords, just enough to often be make a difference for uh, uh, gem at the end. So obviously we throughout most of the game have much more than enough swords to buy all the gems that we need. Only position that we are kind of tight on swords would be right before Vanessa 1 and Seal, but that's more because I also add a lot by a lot of upgrades, uh, especially expensive upgrades. Uh, yeah. Um, the this attack isn't the worst to counter. Uh, if you don't feel comfortable with it, definitely evade fully. But if you feel confident with the counter, you can counter it, and uh, it's not too high risk with you already having a cast to reduce damage. One 30. Um, it's exactly 7 hits onto this. Yeah. I I didn't even know that achievement existed until I got it in early access, and I was like, okay, I guess that's a thing. I didn't even know that's a thing I could do. I sh- I, I didn't even know that she gets hit by this, but it's exactly 8 eyes to explode this fireball. It looked like you were just lucky that it just at this point expanded fully. You might have uh, a really good feel for timing it, but it looked more lucky. But you can hit 7 times onto the ball, keep hitting her head a bit, and uh, get her down. Yeah, it's it's something that you won't be able to get immediately. For this one, I also just shoot because it just lines up perfectly after getting a cast. But yeah, it's just a thing that you need to start getting used to, so that when it then starts being the runs where it like actually comes up to these last few frames to save 4 PBs. No one of us is at this time at that point. Just knowing that my sum of best was like far below 40. Yeah, we are still quite far away from being that good. Um, you can quite easily make it up to the third window with a somewhat clean float. I would thunder. Um, it's not too hard. It's probably maybe saving you like a second, but it's not a too hard second to save. Um, at least with a flight later on when you do that. Let me replace this one in you. Um, you can just keep running. Like, I not do this in this one. You can just keep running and hover over this section, and then only start walking after this one. You can even get a double jump in here before landing, and then you basically start running around here again. It's just consolidating these two pauses that I did into one. You probably also have to do the second. Yeah, yeah. You don't need to be trying anything fancy to evade him if he's not already doing an attack as you come up the stairs. You can go directly at this corner. Yeah. Um, I've been recently doing like a very direct run at this corner, and basically every time the ball either hits the wall, or I'm already fully around as it comes here. For this one, it's the thing I started now doing because I got annoyed at me always missing this jump. Yeah, it's you get caught by that if she's already starting the attack as you are still on the stairs. Because her attack then comes earlier, and then you need to think about how to evade it. And the evade is the run you made. Here I've been recently just literally run off the edge and do a double jump. I don't even try to get the jump off there anymore. because I always get a slow jump. And um, here, if you keep yourself falling just a bit more, you can, instead of doing the slash to stop yourself from falling, do a double jump into this direction with sprinting speed. And you basically land right in front of the orb. You can even, if you want to be fancy like Shin, uh, you can even around here. Uh, Shin uh, aims mid-air. He misses the double jump, but he still does this mid-air aiming if he gets the jump. And he's just like really well at tracking this. I've been trying to get this, but I'm actually like probably would be faster if I wouldn't even try. Yeah. Um, I don't think you need to upgrade on that statue unless that actually makes it more easy for you to one shot the thunder girls. Or I guess if you for some reason weren't able to get the strength in before, then you would also upgrade the other strengths. Yeah, I think that's the right amount. Maybe. Okay, so you should be able to start running at half the area for this one, like literally half the full meter. You should be able to start running if you have your stamina there consistently refilling. Uh, just technically more direct thing. Walking past the statue on the left thing is the more direct line. It's like probably saving like 3 frames, but yeah. Nice use of the charge to um, gain the mana quicker. Yeah, I personally just never let her do the attacks where she smacks her sword into the ground if I can stop it. If I have to abort a charge to get her out of it, I will just going to abort the charge. It, uh, but yeah, like even if this attack is only a 50% chance, this attack always is going to stop my charge as I run away, and that's going to lose me time over just uh, shooting her, stopping her. I only have the mana to to stop her twice usually with thunder shots, but usually she also does it it's the third time, but sometimes it works. Yeah, these three enemies are um only giving three swords. They are basically the same enemies as in Okun Shrine. So at this point, I think you can just actually shoot them with ice and they will die. I still want to try that. But they die to everything. You don't need to waste the mana on the sniper. Obviously, there exists the island hop thing. Um, where you just jump over here, but it's quite precise, can be quite annoying to do, and if it fails, it's probably a run ender. Yeah, I assumed you know of it, but I don't like to assume too much. On one version 105, so and escape the seal chase arena. Um, you probably saw it, but you can get through this entrance and land on a ledge in here and jump straight there. But I don't think anyone does that in runs, so not expecting you to be the first to do it. There are also a handful of other ways, so there are options for that. But in the end, that one is more often uh, be comfortable with what you plan to do. And yeah, here you can jump down on the sides. I think you could jump down here on this side, but I have not seen anyone try that. I know you can jump down on the right side here. And basically, instead of going up here and then down, you go in a more diagonal way. I wonder basically every boss is fastest to do with uh, Thunder Charge. I wonder if a full seal fight with Thunder Charge would be fast. Would have to look into um how to do that properly. I actually never thought about actually using Thunder Charge on her until I saw you just use it at the beginning there. Um, yeah. You do still have some amount of mana floating there. Let's like I personally always just start a charge here, see if I get mana floating. If not, do a dash into this to the side to get my charge started. So otherwise, it looks like a good steer fight. Um, this jump is just as easy as long as you are jumping from about the height of this pillar on here. Are you playing on 30 FPS? This looked like a 30 FPS flight. At 30 FPS, you may actually need that height. Nah, I'm more meant uh, from the height loss here. Um, at 30 FPS, you cannot start attacking mid-air as quickly after a double jump. There's like a tiny bit more delay, and that bit of extra delay actually means that you need to have a higher starting point than on 60. But if it's just like not fully comfortable with the jump yet thing, then well, practice. But then it's not something to note really about. Just wanted to ask because 60 FPS actually changes game physics quite significantly for the jumping mechanics. Uh, honestly, yeah. Honestly, if you still have the uh, full health crystal there, n- in my eyes, it's not really needed to switch to the um, health regeneration crystal thing. It would be um, also nice to have at least one of the yeah, don't go in here, but one of the I don't know what the level is called, but the better mana crystals here, the mana drop crystals that you can start buying at the statue, just so that you can drop one at the beginning, and as long as you can stay in that circle, never think about mana during this fight. It's especially helpful if you have issues getting the counters correctly. Um, Dropping these crystals also generates uh, more mana or health than the direct hits. Obviously, the direct hits are faster to get an instant heal, but yeah, if you don't feel like you're going to die in a moment, just dropping them on the ground, it's helping more. But quite clean, Vanessa. And yeah, you usually want to keep one of the small one to two of the small crystals here, so that we can just activate them. Uh, Activate one here, and the other, if you have a second one in the lava trial, and if you go for phase one Nonota stuff, you would also you would um buy up you'd have one defense crystal. Wait, you'd still have one defense crystal for the Dark Tunnel section. Buy three mysterious mana crystal things, the ones that you can drop. Or so that you have three drop mana crystals. Use one in the underground trial. In middle trial, really only you really only use them to bait. Maybe you get a fourth one to drop a mana ring on the ground so that you can keep sniping her. If you go for bait strats and already have the fifth back, and then you would also use one in the lava section. Then you would have one going into Nonota, which is enough for phase one strats. But I'm also not expecting you to now immediately learn phase one strats, because phase one strats are actually quite tight to get down. It's, in my eyes, easier to get a clean phase one fight than a clean zero strat fight. Um, the shard here started only once you are halfway from the pillars here to the wall. I'm pretty sure I did that at least in my underground. Only here. And it activates just immediately afterwards. At one. I also just hit a few extra crits too because most of the time I just don't hit enough like pots at the beginning there. But I only start like charging once I'm halfway across here. I get the mana here, everything. But just as I reach the wall explodes. And just afterwards I do get my charge full. Also, I baited a bunch of enemies there, but that's inconsistent. Was honestly just luck. Yeah, the wall break starts once you are past the pillars, and uh, yeah. Um, um, if you don't go for the fire here, you can jump up here onto the blue mushroom. Like you need to jump from the stone onto the blue mushroom, onto a bigger player here, onto a smaller player here, and up here. I don't think I did this already in this one. No, I didn't. But I do have a video of it somewhere in routing. Um, maybe this isn't tech. Um, hmm, in routing. Can jump up here onto this wall pillar and jump up here. Yeah, it's not overly precise, but it's you need to jump right into this crevice here, um, because here's a bit of collision that you can actually get up on in this area. Over here you can't, over here you can't, but basically in this area where light is around Nonota, you can actually jump in here. But it's precise. If you have trouble getting it, that's fine. But should be doable, I think, with some practice. Back to verification. Yeah. Other than find, try to search for, try to climb this spiral like a lot. Like uh, get down, get down here and just jump up here. If you got up here, jump back down, retry until you find like really good paths up here. I cannot give you much of an thing. For this one, there are now two strats to do this. Strat 1, instead of trying to go anywhere here, try to jump onto the right side of the wall. Because for whatever reason, there are some better collision for you to jump off on the right side. The alternative strat is what I do is at the end here. Um, I after this second double jump, I release uh, all controls, because then for whatever reason you land on collision. It's, mm, it's quite precise. You need to have a double jump that's quite high, and you just get collision. If you move anywhere right now with WASD or control stick on controller, you fall, but you can do a neutral jump and get up. Also, the stupidity, it's a quite precise jump. Don't go for it. I'm dumb for going for it, but like here, you land on the same collision as you there. Also, don't hold run. Also, you just do not hold run during wall climbs like this. Um, the the reason you fell here is that you had run. You can keep jumping forever, um, even if my stamina is low. Like, just don't hold run. Um, with this strat, you want to as you hit this, release a shot. Basically, cancel your melee animation with the Thunder Strike shot. Um, for this fight, Shengon is, in my eyes, the best resource to look at. Um, because he does as a quite consistent. He has Thunder 4. Thunder 4 you get from Dark Pass, Spirit Realm on top of the Castle Before Seal, Vanessa 2 beat, and right now in this challenge. Therefore, he is not getting hit by Thunder Strike. I think you have also Thunder Force, so this should convert quite well. He's standing in the middle of the Thunder Strike right next to us, so that um, even if she teleports out, she teleports out of the attack into the radius of the attack, so she still gets hurt. and then he uses uh, gems to bait her into an attack, and then uses her being a bit slow after just being baited to kill her a bit. Uh, but I personally like my strat of literally not fighting her, but my strat is also much less consistent. Come on, YouTube. Um, if you hit her with an arcane cast while she's close to wall, she sometimes gets knocked through the wall. You can make it reasonably consistent if you have the arcane 2 to do 2 cast shots. So here, for whatever reason, she got hit in the middle of her teleport from here to here and got knocked back over here. Like, she got hit before the teleport. Um, it's pretty much any wall, yeah. Which is an issue because I knocked her back through this wall a while back, and back there is not void. Back there is floor. That's not helpful. It's basically um, the only way you can still hit her is with arcane cast, so you can technically try to get her through one of the wards in here, but that's not going to be consistent. But I personally like it. I just find it slightly more consistent than spending any amount of time on learning the fight, but at the same time, learning the fight is technically easier. I just don't want to bother with learning the fight if I can just learn to push up out of bounds. Even if I have to deal with it being less fast. Um, okay, nice. You actually skipped early. Nice. So now, are you going to go for the statue? Because technically, you don't really need to go for it. Okay. I'm assuming you buy. No. Um, if you buy here, I think it would be better to buy a defense crystal instead of the one of the mana crystals. Um, 2 mana crystals is perfectly fine to. Uh, yeah. I can see that, but 2 mana crystals is fine for phase 2, and for phase 1, I would just drop one on the ground. So I would use 1 mana crystal dropped on the ground to keep regenerating mana to keep going like that. 2 of my mana crystals for phase 2 to just fully blast her down, and the defense crystal to within phase 1 survive the ice attacks, and I guess you can still have the health crystal just as safety. But At least the ice would be not an issue with the defense crystal. Also, this attack is quite easy to counter. Yeah. Yeah. Probably also an attack that you should practice to counter. You can counter the first attack. The second attack fills up your Thundercast, and then you can. And she does not have a shield during this attack, so you can actually just hit her. Probably want to stay a bit back so that you can then dash through this attack and gain a bit of extra mana. Uh, Countering this one is generally not great. I have no clue how you got that counter. But if you can get this counter consistently, then it's perfectly fine to counter the prior attack. Uh, yeah. You need to wait a bit. You need to wait a little bit. She is still like at the end of this attack. Um, uh, in Thunder 4, I don't know how long it takes. I have like a reasonable feel for it in Thunder 2. But yeah, it will be like 1-2 seconds that you just should wait a bit so that her shield is actually already gone by the time you have like 2-3. Like you maybe still get 1 to 10 to 11 hits in, but the most of them is going to be the higher bargain or higher end of the hits. And this is now her ice attack. This is fully countered by um uh, okay, actually her health right now is low enough to go for 1 second strat. Like her health was actually low enough for 1 second strats. Um, blah blah. Like this is the amount of heads you need just past the L. I think you have a bit lower, so maybe go maybe more for here, but this shouldn't be too tight. But basically, I use one defense crystal plus one mana crystal. Um, I get the defense crystal here. Start. I want to delay my charge so that I get it just as she starts with this attack. Because during this attack, she will not switch phases. Hit her once with normal attack, do another charge. And that instead of going to phase 2. Phase 2 is obviously easier, but you would have had the setup to go for it, um, other than not having the defense crystal. Uh, it's also you also need to practice getting her to the correct amount of health. I'm also unsure about how your lower end would affect that. Maybe you need to go for a third Thunder Strike instead of normal Thunder. So I personally had issues getting a third Thunder cast in before she starts her phase switch. Um, I don't know why so many people do this. You cannot headshot her while she's doing the charging here. She has a full-on face shield in front of her. Once she has actually summoned this word, now you can hit sniper. You can even sniper twice, which I think Zero does every now and then. But you can now sniper twice, and then still gets a counter. Also, you can counter that, but it's fucked up, so I don't do that. Um, Here you don't see her. That's no problem. Like, I don't see her either, but what I do in this situation is turn on the enemy lock. On keyboard, it's default to C. On controller, it's defaulted to right stick in, which locks your camera in the direction of her. It does not perfectly track her. It's just slightly delayed as she moves around. Like, I think she's right here now. From her movement, your camera would be just tiny bit off. So you wouldn't be able to snipe her off that. But it allows you to keep track of her and actually keep aim in about her direction. So uh, once she is back, you directly look at her. You directly can start to snipe her. You can technically try to snipe her earlier, but there's the enemy in the way, so you probably don't hit her. A nice fight. Also, 45-37 and 46-30. I like that I don't have to anymore actually edit runs. So here's your verification. Also, this now allows me to this because I was actually taking your run as a bug report. It's the same. About it being placed one place better than it's supposed to be. Like, you're not third, but for whatever reason, it did show your run as third, which is stupid. It's technically a bug for boost, but whatever. Yeah. I have reported a few bugs, but I don't generally get an answer. I generally I hope you learned a lot, yeah. But I often see them actually fix issues after I submitted a report. One issue I had that was extremely annoying. Notifications. When awaiting verification in the game you moderate. Totally right. It should be an email notification, right? So that I actually get notified about that, even if I'm not on the site, so that I come here to do that. But it's usually not set. And there was a bug that if I click on this, it did not save. It did not save any of the email notifications for directly here or for the game. Like the moment you reloaded the site, it was back off. And yeah, I don't really care, but now it works. no saves, and everything. There was a trick to still get it in, which was nice, but it's nice that it just works now. Uh, the different thing that I did asked for is, I think, still not done. I asked for, hey, could I maybe add any anything other than light split layers, like split splits, zips, or RAS? Like 7-zip is generally quite a good format depending on stuff. Like for text, 7-zip can be like such an insane compression. We also have ASL for auto split for the split. Uh, both of which should be added here, but are not. But whatever. But yeah, hope you actually like find the time to practice. Hope you actually uh finds the will to practice, because I don't. But yeah, I think you should definitely get in here quite soon into the 43s, and then compete for the really good times. It's just like finding the time to get there. And yeah, good luck for your next runs, and see you then. Goodbye.